Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Fritz, and today we're going to be talking about the AmpKnob BDH Bundle from Bogren Digital. We're going to be taking a look at each individual amp knob inside of this bundle, and we're going to be doing something similar to what we did with the AmpKnob Rev C, where we're going to be evaluating these in terms of how they produce effects on vocals. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our three AmpKnob plugins on the inserts for our Patient Zero Has Escaped track. Right before we do, let's go ahead and just give that a listen. This is the same track that we used before when I took a look at the AmpKnob Rev C on vocals. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. Alright, cool. So we're making sure that we're still using the same sample track that has the same type of dynamics that we were expecting. We haven't done anything else to this track. So let's go ahead and start putting the AmpKnob instances from the BDH bundle on here. Alright, the first one we're going to put on here is going to be, the BDH 5169. So what we're going to do with all three of these is we're going to turn the pedal off, and we're going to stage these all the way down to 0.0 gain, just so we have the same baseline to work with here. So there's the 5169. Let's also get the 6606. All right, pedal off, staged all the way down to 0. Excellent. And then finally, we're going to add the BDH III. All right, pedal off and all the way down to 0. All right, now we have all three of our instances, so let's go ahead and bypass the 6606 and the BDH III, and we'll start everything with the 5169. All right, so let's start working with the 5169 here. We're going to run the gamut of 6 different gain settings, just so we can get an idea of how the vocal track changes a little bit. And we will do everything both with the pedal off and the pedal on. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is the gain setting of 0.0 with the pedal off. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. All right, here it is with the pedal on. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. All right, so we're kind of hearing the beginnings of like a walkie-talkie sound, kind of like how we did with the original AmpKnob Rev C. So let's turn the pedal off here and take it up to a gain setting of 2, and let's see what we get now. Gain of 2, pedal off. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. That's nice. It's starting to dirty up the sound a bit. All right, let's click the pedal on and see what we get. Here it is. Gain of 2.0, pedal on. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. All right, that's really starting to sound like a two-way radio. So we're getting a nicer, dirtier sound here. Sounds a little bit overdriven, and we're starting to kind of see like more of a breakdown in the communication lines as we get higher and higher up on the gain setting. So let's click the pedal off, and let's try now a gain of 4.0, and let's see what we get. Gain 4.0, pedal off. Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. Oh man, that's just starting to sound mean. I like that. Let's click the pedal on. All right, gain 4.0, pedal on. What do we get? Patient Zero has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted. Man, that's a nice, just dirty vocal sound. Kind of maybe like a combination of a two-way and a megaphone, almost. Maybe like some kind of smaller building megaphone. All right, click the pedal off. Let's move it up to a gain of 6.0, and let's see what we get. Gain of 6, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Wow, I'm liking that. It's getting dirtier. All right, let's overdrive it a little bit with this pedal, see what we get. Gain of 6.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Ooh, we're getting a ton of like that nice background noise like we were getting before with the Rev C, where we were kind of thinking that, you know, the situation is really breaking down, and we're starting to see just a real kind of like idea of technology falling apart, and giving a more hectic kind of idea when there's a whole lot of background noise, that things really aren't going the way that the world had hoped at this point. All right, so let's click the pedal off, move up to a gain of 8.0, and let's see what we get. All right, gain 8.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Nice. All right, getting a little more hectic in the background here. Let's click the pedal back on. Gain of 8.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Yeah, that's dirty, that's angry, that's got a lot of bite to it, that's got a ton of noise in the background based upon the really high gain setting of this amp knob. I'm loving this. All right, for the last one, last two actually, let's take the pedal off and we'll move up to a gain of 10. We'll push the gain basically as far as it'll go on the 5169. Let's see what we get. Gain 10.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Beautiful. All right, last one. Let's click the pedal on, see what we get. Gain 10.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, we're getting a lot of that angry dirtiness that we kind of saw originally with the AmpKnob Rev C, where we pushed it as far as it will go on the gain, and it really distorted the sound that we had to give kind of an idea of everything is completely fallen apart at this point, and we have a really nice sound design aspect here where we can sense that there's just maybe some kind of really nasty additional danger approaching, or that something else is really about to go wrong. So this is pretty cool. All right, so that is the set of different gain settings that we're going to do with the AmpKnob 5169, and now we can move on to the 6606 Plus. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the 6606. So we're staged at 0.0 gain with the pedal off. Let's see what we get here.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Okay, nice. There's a little bit of brightness and clarity in some of the bass settings here. Let's turn the pedal on, see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, I'm liking that. The way it sounds, there's almost like it sounds like the mids are being scooped a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we turn the gain up further and further. All right, let's go to a gain setting of 2.0 here, and we'll click the pedal off and see what we get. Gain 2.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, getting that that nice two-way radio sound here. Let's turn the pedal on and see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, that's sounding pretty good. So let's go ahead, click the pedal off, go up to a gain of 4.0, and let's see what we get now. Gain 4.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, getting kind of that megaphone vibe to it. Feeling like kind of an angry sound here. Starting to be at least. Let's click the pedal on, see what we get. Gain 4.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Nice, getting angrier with that sound. Got a lot of bite to the sound now. So that's pretty cool. There's some strength to the underlying gain. It kind of seems like some of the gain and distortion is pushing through to the forefront here. That's a really, really cool effect. All right, so let's turn the pedal off, take it up to a gain of 6, and see what we get. Gain 6.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Yeah. Okay, let's see if the pedal will make it even meaner. Here we go. Gain of 6.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Man, there's some serious high gain vibes here. Yeah, the sound of the vocals and the sound of the transmission are really, really breaking up here. So this is pretty cool. Like maybe we get the idea of like a more damaged piece of equipment where not all the frequencies are really coming through because it's being pushed too hard and certain pieces of the circuitry aren't necessarily functioning the way that they're supposed to. So that's a pretty neat idea for a sound design aspect of this as well. All right, let's click the pedal off and we'll take it up to a gain of 8.0. See what we get. Gain 8.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right. Awesome. Let's click the pedal on, see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right. Wow, the frequencies we're getting, and you can really start hearing some harmonics inside of the phrasing as it's being spoken. So that's pretty cool. It could be an idea like where a signal is really, really being pushed and is just not being received the way that it's supposed to, and it's creating some kind of harmonic distortion, which is a really neat effect. All right, so let's click the pedal off and move to the final gain of 10.0, and let's see what we get. Gain 10.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, nice. Let's click the pedal back on. That's already so distorted and high gained, but let's see what we get with this pedal. All right, gain 10.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Nice. Yeah, you know, I talk a lot about the background noise that's being generated, and that's really a big part of this, because the more background noise you get, the more of a hectic feel you can kind of create. And when you're pretty much cranking the gain on everything, you create the idea of a situation where things need to be done, but they're just not getting done, and everyone's kind of running around almost like chickens with their heads cut off. You get kind of like maybe a post-apocalyptic or almost apocalyptic feel to these kinds of transmissions if you use this for vocals. All right, so that's going to do it for the 6606. We ran it through the same gain settings and the same pedal on and pedal off configurations. So let's go ahead and move on to the BDH III. All right, the final amp in our BDH bundle is going to be the BDH III. Same idea as the other two amp knobs that we have done. We'll put it through 6 different gain phases as well as 2 different pedal configurations. So let's go ahead and start with the gain at 0.0 and the pedal off. Let's see what we get here.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, so the base idea with the BDH III on, there's not as much aggression as with the 6606 Plus or the 5169, it sounds like. Let's see what happens when we turn the pedal on and keep a baseline of 0.0 on the gain.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, now we're starting to feel some of that gain and start getting some of that two-way feel to the vocals that we have here into the type of transmission. All right, so let's move up to a gain setting of 2.0 without the pedal. Let's see what we get here. Gain 2.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Okay, we're getting a brighter sound. Even though it's distorted, we're getting a brighter sound when the actual words are being spoken, which it's an interesting effect. And we're not getting as much distortion in the background yet. All right, let's turn the pedal on and see what we get. Gain 2.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, a similar idea where we're getting some nice distortion, but we can still pretty easily make out what's being said. There's a brightness to the gain that's actually really kind of neat, where the words are still individually distinguishable from each other, and it doesn't sound like there's an underlying, almost like river of distortion that they're sitting in. You can still pick out the individual words. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen as we push the gain higher and turn the pedal off or on. So let's move to a gain of 4.0 without the pedal. Crank that up here. All right, gain 4.0, pedal off. Let's see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right. Let's turn the pedal on and see what we get. That was still pretty clear in terms of how we might be designing the sound for an audio transmission. But let's click the pedal on and see what we get now. Gain 4.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Wow, you can really hear that gain coming through. It's muddying up the background a little bit, but not so bad that we can't make out what's being said. All right, so let's click the pedal off, and we'll move this up to a gain of 6.0 now. So gain 6.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Nice. So we're starting to lose some of the distinguishability of the individual words. Even though we can still make out what's being said, we're getting our background muddying up a bit. So let's turn the pedal on and see how that changes our sound. All right, gain of 6.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, we're getting toward that kind of hectic feel that I was describing before with the 6606 and a bit with the 5169, where things are happening that should not be happening and things that should not be happening, are happening. A lot of, even in what I just said, there's a lot of hecticness going on and a lot of things going wrong right now. All right, so let's click the pedal off, move up to a gain of 8.0 here, and let's see what we get. Gain 8.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, nice, getting higher on the distortion here. Let's click the pedal on and see how we do. Gain 8.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, definitely getting more of that just general distorted sound. Now everything's kind of distorting together, so we kind of get that idea of what I was describing before with the 6606, where maybe some circuitry has fallen apart and transmissions are trying to go through, but they're either not going through properly or they're not being received properly because there's a breakdown in equipment somewhere. All right, so let's click the pedal off and move to our gain of 10.0 and see what we get when we basically just completely push the gain to its maximum level. All right, gain 10.0, pedal off.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
Nice. All right, get that muddiness of sound, but still not so much where we can't really make out what's being said. There's still a lot of intelligibility to if this was some kind of transmission across different devices. All right, let's click the pedal on and see what we get. Gain 10.0, pedal on.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, that muddies it up a lot. So that's pretty cool. So that's more of that breakdown idea that I was talking about before, where components, electrical components are really, really failing, and the equipment's just completely starting to fall apart. All right, so that's going to do it for the BDH III. We took it through the same gain settings as we did for the 5169 and the 6606 Plus, and we also use the same pedal on and off configurations. So that's going to do it for this AmpKnob. Now that we're at the end of the demonstration for the 3 AmpKnobs inside of the BDH bundle, there's another point that I wanted to make. All of the demonstrations that we've done have been using the custom matched cab for each individual AmpKnob. However, the BDH bundle now gives us the ability, if we click on this little cab section down here next to settings and the tuner for each of our AmpKnobs, if we click on that, we have the option to use the matched cab, to bypass the matched cab, or to load our own custom IR. This is a really cool new thing that the BDH bundle has rolled out, since it allows us to load an IR within the AmpKnob and not have a need for something like NAD IR or Libra as the following insert in the chain. If, for example, we're not doing blending, we only maybe want to have one IR. Now, the 3 things inside of the BDH bundle can also load themselves. So let's go ahead and just load up an IR from the set that I have. You know, I have stuff from Bogren Digital, Lancaster Audio, C-Cow cabs. Let's go into Bogren Digital. Let's pick my buddy Christian Cola's IR pack, Rainbows and Chainsaws. Let's pick Chainsaws. The original source audio was recorded at 44.1, so let's just pick that, and let's see what we get here. Let's go with Swamp of the Dead. Sounds pretty good. All right, we'll open that up. So now the icon down here for AmpKnob, let me unbypass that and then bypass the BDH III over here. Let me close out the 6606 Plus. All right, so now instead of it saying cab to denote that we were using a matched cab, now it's showing the path to the actual IR that we're using with the custom IR loader. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of crank this back down to 2, keep the pedal off, and let's just see what we get going through our new IR as opposed to going through the matched cab. So this should be pretty cool. Let's see what we get. Turn it back on. There we go. It helps when your plugins are on, right? All right, turn the pedal off. Let's see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, that sounds a bit different than what we got before. So we're hearing a lot of the character of our own IR now as opposed to using the matched cab. So this is a really cool new feature that allows us to have more flexibility with our AmpKnob instances inside of the BDH bundle. And just because, let's click the pedal on and see what we get.
Patient 0 has escaped. Containment procedures have been enacted.
All right, so even though we're at the same gain setting and we've had the pedal on or off, we're getting a different sound profile with our loaded custom IR than we do with the matched cab. So this is a really, really cool new feature. Essentially, the only limit is your imagination and the set of IRs that you have. So you can extend the kinds of sounds that you get directly from the AmpKnob itself now with this built-in IR loader functionality. So I'm really excited about that. And it's really going to open up a whole new world of possibilities. That's going to do it for the AmpKnob BDH bundle on vocals. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a really great one. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.